This is Byron Gordon with your SES Conference Channel update. And today we're speaking with Terry Plank of SEMPO, the Dean of SEMPO, Search Engine Marketing Professional Organization. And Terry, you're one of the instructors for the SEM workshop happening at SES San Jose on August 22nd. I believe it's the Successful SEO, the Essential Elements.
That's correct.
What I thought we would do is ask you a couple of questions for our audience that could learn a little bit about some of the topics that you cover in the conference.
Great.
So the first question I'd like to ask you about has to do with keywords. We know that for any SEM campaign, successful SEM campaign, keywords play an essential role. Can you give a few examples about how one gets started using keywords, tools you might use, how one gets started?
Okay, well, you are right. It is the foundation of everything you do. If you don't have the right set of keywords, you're not going to drive the traffic to your site that's appropriate to what you have to offer. So it's very important to doing that initial research, which can be very, very broad. There are many tools to use for it. Google, MSN, Yahoo have their own free tools. There are also tools like Word Tracker and Keyword Discovery, which are both excellent products for researching. And what you're looking for is what you think in the beginning, at least for the brainstorming, what you think are the keywords that people might be using to find what it is that you offer. And then you expand from out of that basic core understanding of what you think are the keywords by doing interviews with staff, by talking to people in your company, looking at your websites, looking at the websites of your competitors, evaluating from every angle what you are missing by what you think. Because often what we think people are using to find us is really not what they're using. So good, hard research, actually talking, even having focus groups is a great way to get that basic core set of keywords. Then when you have that core set of keywords, you can run it through the processes of Keyword Discovery or Word Tracker and expand on those and find the ones that are most relevant, the ones that are findable, the ones that your competitors haven't already got so tied up that you can't break in. Finding those good, specific keyword phrases that will drive that target traffic to your website.
Are the free tools as good, if not better, than any of the paid tools when you're starting out as an SEM and doing keyword research? And you talked about some of the tools that you mentioned. Do you try and push any particular free or paid service?
No, not particularly. They do different things. I mean, if you're looking at Google, MSN, Yahoo, they're going to give you a great perspective on what people have been searching for on their search engines. So you get a very targeted view if you're using, let's say, Google's free tools or MSN's free tools. And they're free available for SEO and PPC, so there's some different tools for each one. But those can get a good foundation, but to really expand them out and to find the competitors and to find all the additional information that would really be helpful for you in finalizing, it is really good to use one of the professional programs because they're evaluating across the board and they're evaluating over time. They're just evaluating more comprehensively in a certain way than the individual search engine ones will be doing.
Great. Let's talk about website design. What are some of the common roadblocks that someone who's putting a website that wants to be found by a major search engine, what are some of the common faux pas that you see and that you try and educate your students on helping to overcome?
Good question. Actually, I think the core issue that many folks just not even think about in the beginning because they're not really optimizing often. Sometimes web development folks are not thinking about the traffic driving part of it. They're looking more at how to have a good looking site and how to make it navigatable and easy to read and clean and crisp. And they're thinking about all those wonderful things that do have to be part of it, but sometimes forget that there is one significant thing. If the search engine cannot find all of the relevant pages that have these great keywords that you're going to be trying to target for, if they can't find them, then the search engine cannot index them. They don't know they exist. So there are certain strategies that can be used in site optimization that will block not block, but the search engine simply can't find it, such as if you use primarily graphics and very little text. If you use something called Flash, now there are some additional ways that Flash is being updated a little bit with Google, and so they're trying to help somewhat. But in general, if you have an all-Flash site, it's going to be much more difficult for those pages to be found. In the old days, I'm not sure anybody does it still, but I do find a few, especially with smaller websites in companies that have smaller sites, is a use of frames. And a frame site is almost completely invisible to that search engine.
Do you not push or recommend frames for anyone
Yeah,
starting
so I
out?
would not, no, I would not recommend using that frames. It's easy to use for some developers, but it doesn't help at all. The other thing is just to be sure that you have good quality text that can be indexed by the search engine. Remember, the search engine simply goes, it's a computer program. It says, what is this about? Well, it's going to find out what it's about by the text on the page and by some of the things you do in your HTML in the background, well, like with your title that shows up at the top of the browser. But you've really got to be very, very navigatable and very observable. So you put those keywords in various places throughout your website. So another thing that can be a roadblock to good high ranking is not targeting keywords on each page. So each page needs a primary, secondary keyword that you target. And you want to have a good, healthy number of words on that page also. If it's just, hi, we have widgets, then the search engine doesn't know how important that is because there's not enough content on that to make sense out of the whole thing. Does that kind of follow?
Fine. That's excellent. Okay, well, there you have it. Words of wisdom from an SEM expert, Terry Plank of Sempo. Thanks for joining us. I'm Byron Gordon. See you next time.